Hello Internet, and today we're going to be looking at how to come up with good character names for your movie. So, to come up with a good character name, you need to know what sort of film you're making. Different types of films don't actually need good character names or character names to be established at any point anyway, but I'll get to that later. Now, if you're actually making a movie which needs character names, this is what I recommend. So you don't want to spend too much time actually thinking of a name yourself, but then again you don't want to do something like, something boring and, very plain and simple. So what you want really to do is go onto a website or an article or a paper or something, and you get a first name of someone from someone over there and a surname of an article over there, and put, mix and match real names to make a believable name. And the important thing is that it's believable and it's not stupid or boring. It's actual two real names put together. And you don't have to do this with articles and papers or whatever. You could do like two old friends that and mix and match their names, or family members, or whatever, something that you've just overheard, like in a restaurant or something. You've heard a name being spoken. You can mix and match any two names that you've heard yourself. Put them together so it sounds a lot more believable, because they are actually two names that are used, if you know what I mean. That's only important though if you're making a particular type of film. Now we're going back to that. So if you're making a film that really doesn't need character names, like say a short action movie, there's plenty of them on the internet, then you really don't need to spend that much time thinking of a name, if any time at all. Because I myself in the past have wasted so much time thinking of names that really aren't important. If you think through your head, think during the movie, are these names going to be established at some point, or are they going to be mentioned in a scene where the character's not in them, in which case they do need to be relevant and established during the film. And if that is so, then yes, you do obviously have to think of a character name, and a good character name, so using those tips and stuff. But if it's like something that, say, a short action film, then you really don't need to think. You can really, when you're writing the script, you can just put man 1 and man 2, or woman 1, woman 2, whatever. That sort of thing. You really don't have to put names at all. And if it's not going to be important, if it's not going to be relevant, then there's no point in actually thinking of one when you sit down and writing it. And it can actually distract you from writing the actual script itself. So don't spend too much time thinking of a name if it's really not going to be that important. But if it is, then obviously do so using mixing and matching first names and surnames from wherever, whatever. Now, if you're making a science fiction film, which is obviously slightly different, say something like Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi and stuff like that, completely random stuff, then don't take names from like articles or old friends or whatever, mix and match human names if you like, because that might sound science fiction or in the future space sort of names, if you know what I mean. So a good trick to do, you can have to think of stuff on the spot. It often comes, especially with stuff like science fiction, that really can't you can't really go wrong. But if you're really struggling, then what I recommend is take two random objects. The first thing I see is a leaf blower and say, I don't know, a freezer, and try and mix them together to make a completely random name. And it might sound okay, it might not. Keep trying, it's trial and error sort of thing. And just keep mixing and matching random objects, and eventually you might come up with a good name out of that, and it'll be really good because it'll be completely original. And that's the important thing about, especially with science fiction names. You want originality with your alien names or your character names or whatever. So make sure it's as original as possible, and that way you'll pull off that these are real people and this is very believable. Same applies from films to science fiction films. In terms of character names, if it's not going to come up, then really you don't have to think of names at all. I can think of numerous science fiction films where the names haven't been mentioned at all, but they still ended up being pretty good films. So yeah, I hope that's helped, if you needed help, that is. So yeah, just basically to sum up, just mix and match names that you know of, mix and match objects that you know of to make weird names, and make sure they're believable and original, and as long as it's relevant as well, and that they're established during the film. And if it's not, then really don't spend too much time at all thinking of the names. But man 1 and man 2, it really doesn't matter. Even if you're sending a script into a competition or whatever, they won't care about the character names as long as they're not important. So you can just put man 1 and man 2, you really don't have to worry about it. So yeah, that's about it for today, and until next time. Yeah, bye.